Hey guys, Cotton Grammar here, Assimilation Webinar. If this is your first time on an Assimilation Webinar, let me give you the rundown because we do have about 140 new members in OMG. So many of you, this will be your first time experiencing what is an Assimilation Webinar. I'm sure that of everyone is already familiar with me from the over 140 new members that we have, from the webinars that we were hosting. So guys, it's going to be just like the other webinars, except we're going to be able to cut loose and reveal a whole lot more stuff. This is probably, and I'm not going to promise you, but tonight I wanted to do this webinar for the simple reason is I wanted to give people just an idea of what to look forward to in 2016. Also have a fresh, hot lesson. Guys, if you want to know what a Assimilation Webinar is, every week we're kind of like an SEO show. We come on, we answer questions and answers, we teach a lesson or talk about current or the hottest events that are going on at that moment to affect your rankings or your bank account or anything in internet marketing. It could vary from week to week. If you have not went back and listened to some of the replays from Assimilation Webinar, they are sprinkled through with the most amazing lessons from Greg Morrison, Fletch, Joe Morfolio, Stephen Floyd, Liz Herrera, and all of the coaches and other OMGers that we brought on, Derek Owasiak, Mike Pierce, all the rest. So to get on Assimilation Webinar, I've tried to make it be a special event for anyone. So what we'll do is we're going to start out and introduce everyone on the webinar and say hello to them. So you can also say hello to them. But guys, we're going to be in the OMG way. The OMG way. So if you are not in the OMG way, let me go ahead and I'll have Fletch be on standby. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat box for those of you that are in there. We're going to be posting in the OMG way. Before I get everyone introduced, let me just go over the different Facebook groups so everyone knows why we do it. Guys, the OMG way that we're in right now is a centralized group that OMG basically uses for announcements. So any announcement that we want to have, it is free for anyone to join. We let anyone come in, anyone join. It is a searchable group. We do not ask specific coach questions in here. If you are listening to this webinar, you've paid to have coaches answer your question. You've paid for the content of OMG. This group is not where you do it. So I just want to get that out of the way. We have our OMG group, which is a main group for veteran OMGers. And for those of you that didn't know, and some of you will be shocked that are on OMG, we have a separate project assimilation group where all the new people are going inside of that will not be in the main OMG group. So all you need to know is what the OMG group is, the OMG way. Everyone has access to it. That's why we will post in here, because we do have segregated groups that will never be in contact with each other. So just wanted to get that out of the way. So we'll be posting in here. Guys, if you are with us, you know that we like a lot of participation. Guys, let's fill this up with hashtag boom, because we do have a bomb on here, so it kind of matches. Want to make sure that everyone's with me, paying attention. Everyone's ready to participate. There we go. We're getting all the hashtag booms going. Then we're going to say hello to everyone while I'm watching all these booms up on the screen. First up, I call him the backbone of OMG. He is like the Night's Watch that's from Game of Thrones. Mr. Greg Morrison. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Cotton?
Nothing much. How's the wall going? You watch Game of Thrones, Greg? Do you watch Game of Thrones?
I do, man. When's it coming back on?
Probably sometime in spring.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm watching that wall, man.
Are you Jon Snow, Greg?
I don't know. I think he's dead, isn't he?
Let's not spoil. Let's not spoil. Let's not spoil.
He might still be alive. We'll see.
Greg is totally Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Jon Snow, there's no way he's dead. No way.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We shall see. We shall see. Next is we're going to say hello to one of my mentors. Wasn't for him, I might not even be here. Greg is as well, but everyone's favorite, Fletch. What's up, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm having a good day. It's been a really good day.
Good.
I don't know what character I might, cast myself into as far as Game of Thrones, but I'm glad to be here, and I'm super excited about 2016. I've kind of gotten my stride in OMG and SEO and everything else, so I'm really excited to get to contribute some kind of new information and things like that. So
Good.
happy to jump into that, and as always, happy to be on these webinars.
Great. And we also have Mr. Sickness. He's finally made it on the webinar. Joe, my friend, how are you feeling, bud? You're a trooper for showing up.
Pretty good, man. I made it, finally.
Did they say that you could possibly have walking pneumonia?
Well, that's what they said, but she gave me some antibiotics, so I think I'll be all right.
Yeah. Hopefully you can hang in there, man. And thank you for being here. That just shows your level of dedication and your love for OMG. Guys, please let Light Joe see that you're wishing him a speedy recovery. Joe's, this is his second round of antibiotics. We want to make sure that we don't lose Joe. We have to go to a funeral. Right, Joe?
Yeah, I think I'll still be here for a little while longer.
Joe, let me ask you a question. If you happen to pass, who gets all your SEO secrets? Have you wrote them down anywhere, and have you willed them to anybody?
Oh man, they're in a special video vault. So if I pass, somebody will get a key to it.
Wow. Yes, I'd like hope my name's on the list, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Great. And last but not least, the man of the hour who's going to be teaching a mind-bending lesson tonight, which is guaranteed to get a hashtag mind blown, Mr. Stephen Floyd. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Cotton. Hey, everybody. Boy, man, Joe, thanks for showing up, buddy. You sound like crap, man. I hope you get better soon. And since Greg is on, Cotton, I haven't talked to Greg since live. I gotta say, I may have called the Rhonda thing. I may have been wrong on that, Greg. I might be willing to concede that now.
So, once you pick the box, it's all over. So it's all right. It's all right.
You know what?
I might have called that one wrong.
I just read an article yesterday that Ronda Rousey might not even be, well, she even said it, that she probably wouldn't be able to eat an apple for 6 months. So that's like crazy. So yeah, all it takes is one good shot, man. I'm just telling you, one good shot from anybody.
Luckily, it wasn't Floyd. I'll tell you that.
So I don't know if I like think that Holly Holmes can actually kick harder than Floyd Mayweather can punch, though. So you might disagree, though. So.
No comment.
Obviously. So guys, what we're gonna do is right now is we have a golden hands up here. For those of you guys don't know it, please go back and find a simulation replay. Watch our first Q&A. We will be able to thank John for reminding us Stephen Floyd will ever be noticed hashtag golden hands. Just like the James Bond. It sounds like a James Bond villain almost. So you can hear Stephen sigh. So guys, if you got questions, load them up. Any SEO questions, client questions, anything that's going on for any coach. We're going to be opening up questions for probably the next 30, 40 minutes, an hour, as long as they come in and you keep them coming. This is your chance right now to get everything going. So you got every one of the coaches here except Liz. She's traveling right now. She's in Los Angeles. And so fire them away. We will see what we got here. We'll dive into, let's see what kind of questions we got here. We're not getting any questions. I guess people don't want Q&A. I guess they want us to go straight to the lesson and just cut this webinar about 15 minutes. There's a question is, Greg or Steven, what do you see as far as tags for e-commerce sites? Well, what do you like to see as far as tags for e-commerce sites?
Greg, do you want to take that one?
I don't do much e-commerce. You probably know more about it than I do.
I actually do a lot of e-commerce, Josh, but I don't do tags. I know that that's a method that Derek does and Michael Pierce. So I probably would ask one of them. I don't use that like as a ranking method for my e-com sites. So sorry, buddy, I can't help you on this one.
Great. I don't do any e-commerce sort of stuff right now. Guys, I like to keep my business light and smart. When I see a site that's got thousands of pages on it, I just pass. There's no amount of money that they can afford. It's going to slow me down, boggle me down. I can get another lawyer or I can get another dentist somewhere that's going to pay me 7, 10K versus take 10K for an e-commerce site that's going to drive me bananas. So I don't like mess with it either. We'll go to the next question. Is it not a footprint when you connect all your sites to a Google account, even though they are all separate? For whoever wants to answer
Don't do that. I wouldn't do it.
that. So you said, Greg Morrison says, don't do that. That means yes, we'll create a footprint. So don't do that. There you go. That's all we need to talk about it. We will move on to the next question. It says, if I had one of my PBNs has a penalty and it's sending links to a money site, what should I do?
Depends
Anyone?
on what how established your money site is. I mean, if you guys think about it, when it comes to penalties, the more trusted your site is, the harder it is to pass a penalty to it. So, if you got a brand new site, you just launched it, who's going to negative SEO that? You're going to be way back, page 5, whatever, beyond. Who's going to go to page 5 and negative SEO a site, right? The sites back there have no trust. So that's why we teach to build up your trust first before sending PBN to the site, because if you mess something up, you miss that the PBN has a penalty, and that's the first link you send. When a site has no trust, you're done. I mean, that site's wiped out, right? But on the other end, and this goes because of negative SEO, Google has to consider this. If you have a site that's up on the first page, that's a target for negative SEO, and that also means it has trust built. So if you have a penalized PBN link into that, and you already have trust built, it's probably not going to really affect you. So I would say it depends on where your site currently stands as far as what to do, because it could actually be helping you. Because I've seen penalized links help me where I have a site that's trustworthy enough, although I don't recommend it. So it just depends on how established your money site is, I would say.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you, Greg. We will move to the next question, and this is open for anyone to answer. How would you go about moving a client's Weebly site to WordPress?
There's services actually that do that specific thing that are very inexpensive. If you Google like convert to WordPress, you'll find services that's exactly what they do, and they're fairly inexpensive. Otherwise, I would probably just find someone on Upwork to do it for me. You're going to get away with really cheap, because really they're going to scrape the site and be able to move it. Although there may actually be like a Weebly to WordPress importer. I know that there's importers for other things like Blogspot to WordPress, so there may actually, before you pay anybody, look and see if there's actually an importer plugin from Weebly to WordPress, because there very well may be. I've never done it before. I don't know if anybody else has anything.
No, I've never had a client with a WordPress site. So clients are a little bit more established than that. So that's a fairly good answer, and we will move to the next question. Thank you, Stephen. The next question is, with Greg's latest update on over-optimization causing sites getting stuck on page 2, what would be the fastest way to overcome being stuck on page 2?
I mean, I would start sending social. I would start sending branded links. General niche. Like, so if you're an SEO, you can start sending like online marketing type of stuff. And then from there, of course, social signals. You can build up the power of your links currently going there. You can send traffic. There's a lot of things you can do. I still got a lot of testing going on for that, for the best thing to do. Because stuff's just taking a while to kick in right now, so test results are taking longer. But as far as what to do, that's any of those things or all of them would be a good way to go.
Fantastic. Thank you, Greg. The next one is, we're getting some unusual questions. I guess it's a new group. Do you guys use link pyramids and link chains with 2.0s as a strategy? I mean, I can answer it. I don't. Anyone else want to answer? Or are we just going to leave it at that?
Yeah, I do. I'm not sure. Those two words, link pyramid and link chain, can mean different things. I do utilize Web 2.0s in a pyramid configuration. Yes, I do.
Okay, great. That's all we needed is yes or no? Sure.
Yeah, as far as how I mean, you can see the 2015 OTS series. That's as far as I take it.
Right.
I mean, it's just exactly what I do when I do that.
Great. So guys, remember, for those of you that are new, go back over and watch the videos. We also got another question about the groups here. Can you go over Facebook groups again? Guys, there's only one group that you can manually request to be added in. That is the OMG Way. We are right here. This is its address. If you're not in the OMG Way, you have to request to be added in that group. Other groups you get invited to based on you being paid in OMG. So if you think that you're not getting, if you just signed up to OMG within the last 2 weeks, you are only in one group and one group only outside of the OMG Way. So that's the only paid group that you're in. Other OMGers, email OMG at OMG Machines, find out what groups you need to be in. Groups that just came in within the last 2 weeks, the only groups you can be in is OMG Way and the current group that you're in right now, or you would have never even known that this webinar existed. So hopefully that clears everything up without trying to confuse everyone. I know that everyone's, well, what's this? Well, what's that? Instead of worrying about where they're at. So you'll know. It says, question for Greg. Based on your Sink or Swim version 2 video, suppose I already built out anchors based on Sink or Swim 1. How do you de-optimize the site? Just delete the anchor text, delete the old links. Any suggestions?
I would delete the old links. I would first start with on page. You might be able to fix it with on page. You could under optimize your on page, and I've had sites come back from doing that. But it is slow. Remember, even like on page changes seem to take a few weeks to kick in. But I had sites move up a good bit doing that. And then once I added, links on top of that, they moved up to where I needed them to be. So I would always start with optimizing the on page and then move to the link part.
Fantastic. Thank you, Greg. Next question. How many pages lawyer site do you characterize as worthwhile cotton? Really don't know what that question is. If a client's on a Weebly site, chances are they don't need to have me working with them. They need to be working with someone else. They're not going to be able to afford me. I've never seen a client that can afford my fees that has their money site on a Weebly site. That's what I meant. And I can be proven wrong, but generally, I only want to work with businesses that already are built up, that have a level of success. I don't like dealing with clients that are startups, that are desperate, that are scrapping their money together to make me payments. I already like for my clients to have an advertising budget and stuff for it. But I'm just saying that's how I do it. I built up a different level of how I get my clients. If you're just starting out, I would take anything. So that's just my advice. Next question. What is the quickest way to get some clients without having your SEO site set up? The answer is you need to go through your OMG training. We have a lot of client getting methods that are already inside of OMG. We have already stuff that's already talked about in assimilation. Dig in. We have other new client getting methods that I've got over 100. I'll reveal a few more of those over the next few months. Some of them, one of them itself is going to be a nuclear bomb. But until then, guys, there is no easy way to get your first SEO clients. You're going to have to cold call. You're going to have to go door to door. You're going to have to do some meetups. You're going to have to bang some stuff down to get your nucleus of about 10 clients. So get them by any means possible. We've talked about SEO splitting. We've talked about tube heisting. We have a number of different ways. So you've got to just go out and get it done. And we've talked about a lot of these different ways. So we're not going to take up a lot of time going by what the quickest way is. As I've talked about before, I might tell someone tube heisting, they might hate it. If you hate it, you're going to make it right. You're not going to make it work. But if you like SEO splitting and you love it, it's going to work for you. So it's to each individual, try different things that you believe in, that you try in, get out there and get it done. It says right here, max Perzon, we don't ever talk about that or ask questions about that in OMG. So the question that you ask about Vimeo, don't do it. I don't recommend you getting near it. And please, we don't answer questions like that. The next question is, what is the best way, if any, to prevent negative SEO? I've seen this question being popped around before. Guys, I'm not getting negative SEO that much, so I don't know how the hell everyone else is. I think people like to ask this question just to know, and they're not happening with it. But I'll let anyone else answer who wants to answer it. I know how to defend SEO amazingly, but I just don't think it's the right place or time to talk about it. But if another coach wants to, they're more than welcome to.
I barely get negative SEO to either, Cotton. So
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, I go do some link research on Search Explosion. I got adult links pointing at that thing. I got crazy stuff pointing at that thing. It has not hurt me. So I think Google's getting a lot better at weeding out that negative stuff. Don't worry about it. You're wasting your time and effort and worry, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you've got a client that's like it's happening to it, reach out to one of us coaches individually and reach out to us. But that's a whole lesson that can't be answered in one question. What we're going to try to do is get the questions we can answer very, very, very quickly to help someone that's stuck in a situation. That's a very broad thing. So if you got a client that's worried about that's going on, reach out to one of us. We'll be happy to help you. The next question is, I have a client who has had different people working on a Google Plus Maps in an account. I have access to the YouTube, and it's being done by someone in Afghanistan. And in part of the guy's account, I can log into YouTube because I am in a different country. I cannot get in. Is there a problem with me just setting up a new Google business page with a new Google account? Anyone? I've never had a problem like this before, so I have no clue.
Floyd, that's probably for you, man.
If you want to, I'm not sure. There's a couple of different things that could be causing the problem that you're having, Joanne, and I'm not sure which one it is. So one, it could be the location, like security for YouTube, and if that's your issue, then you can bypass that with proxies to get into the account. As far as using another account for that, no, I'm not going to do that. So I would figure out how to fix issue number one. And if the client is in the U.S., then that should be the version of YouTube that they're on. Mm-hmm. So you know what, you can feel free to ping me offline if you want after this, and I'll be happy to answer or get more information from you and help you figure that out more.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you, Stephen. The next question is another one. It says, I'm a total newbie. I know this is a newbie question. I started with Fiverr gigs to rank about 12 different YouTube videos, then started ranking them with Magic Submitter. It has been 60 days. How long does it normally take seeing any traffic to my videos? Also, is there a good and not expensive keyword rank tracker that we use? So we're going to break this down into simple different ways. I'm going to throw it off to the different coaches. But the first thing that alarms me is you say that you're a total newbie. And you're inside of OMG, and you're trying to use Fiverr gigs to rank your YouTube videos, which is shortcuts instead of using Greg's methods that he's taught. So I know that that's the fad going on right now, and I know that we might be responsible for it going over Fiverr gigs and stuff. But if you're brand new, there is no shortcuts. You need to be digging in and paying attention to what Greg's doing. And the same way that you would treat that YouTube video, same way you're going to treat a PBN. The second way is I want to go through and ask all the coaches here so we can know. We had David do a post, so we're just going to ask these coaches whether they use this or would they ever use it to rank anything. Guys, would you ever use Magic Submitter to rank anything? Fletch? Do you use it or would you ever use it?
I have not used Magic Submitter in over 2 years.
Great. Greg Morrison?
I haven't used Magic Submitter in over 2 years either.
Joe Marfolio?
Yeah, same thing. Been about 2 years since I've used it.
Stephen Floyd?
About 2 years.
I've never used it, and I'll never use it. So that's just the answer to your question. So how long does it, and if any one of the other coaches want to answer this, how long is it going to take her to see any traffic to her videos, or you guys have any other advice that you'd like to give her, along with the keyword rank tracker that you want to recommend?
I mean, I'd say it's almost like saying how long is a piece of string. You know, you don't. It all depends on the keyword. There's a lot of different factors that it depends on when your video is going to start ranking. If it's a competitive keyword, you're not going to upload the video and then all of a sudden, a lot of times it hit page one. There's different things you have to do. So sometimes you do have to be a little patient with it. And we do have a lot of training in the members area that shows exactly how to set up your on-page SEO for your videos, how to get a little bit of traffic to it, and how to start linking to it. And if it's not ranking, you just got to keep linking to it and embedding it until it starts to rank.
Great. And as far as each coach goes, we'll just go through and ask them. I know we all use different things. At least it gives idea for people to check out. Fletch, what rank tracker is your primary one that you would recommend?
The one I use is the one I learned from Greg, which is Microsite Masters. That's where most of my keywords are. If you're on a super lean budget, What's My SERP will track like 20 keywords, I think, every day for free. But yeah, I use Microsite Masters.
Great. Greg Morrison?
I use Microsite Masters as well, not necessarily because it's the best, but I got 20,000 keywords in there, and I'm not moving them. I'm not putting all those new campaigns in a new tracker. Oh, yeah. So I mean, I've just been using it for so long that I've just stuck with. There's a lot of good ones out there.
Right. Joe Marfolio.
I use ProRank Tracker.
Great. Stephen Floyd.
Yeah, I use ProRank Tracker, but if you really just have no budget, you can actually, there's a rank tracker plugin for Scrapebox. It's like $10 one time. It's not as good as the paid tools, but it's unlimited keywords and URLs. So if you just really are on a budget, that's something to look at possibly.
Yeah, I myself am a ProRank Tracker and SERPbook, so I use both of those, and I consistently test out. That's one of the things that I'm like an idiot on. I'll buy every rank tracker once to test it out for a little bit, and then I'll go bananas and I'll go back to the ones I was using before. So all of them are fantastic that everyone's recommended. So we will go to the next question. Where they're at on time, we're good. It says for Greg or Joe, when doing affiliate, do you set up social pages? I think I recall Greg said he just uses PBNs.
Yeah, for me, it depends on how big the site is. If it's going to be a big site targeting a lot of terms and it's like an authority site, then I will build social. But I got a lot of little sniper sites where I know they're profitable terms and they're smaller. But I really don't even worry about social for them. I mean, they're always going to help. So, I mean, I recommend you always do them. I'm just confident enough that I can get them without social for the niches I'm in, or for those keywords I'm in.
Great. Joe, what about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on the niche that I'm in. A lot of times I'll set up some social stuff because I'll be able to rank a Facebook page or get people onto the Facebook page and they start asking questions. So it just really depends on the niche and the purpose of what I'm doing, but it never hurts to set up social profiles, that's for sure.
Great. Thank you both for that answer. Next question, Stephen, I'm going to direct it directly towards you. Can you talk a little bit about, someone wants to know about the popularity of Apple Maps. What do you think about it, its importance, and do people need to set it up?
Yeah, absolutely. Apple Maps, in my opinion, is going to be every bit as important as Google Maps. Very, very quickly, mainly because of Siri. When someone is on they're driving and they say, find me a restaurant or whatever, the results that are going to come up for that are going to come up through Siri on Apple Maps. So I think it's extremely important to be on Apple Maps. And right now, there's not a whole lot of really SEO to be done for that. What you need to do is you just need to go to Map Connect or Maps Connect .apple.com. Simply Google Apple Maps, and I'm pretty sure it's app or mapsconnect.apple.com. You're going to sign in with your Apple ID. It has to be a real Apple ID, and then you're going to add your business listing to Apple Maps in a very similar fashion to adding Google My Business. And so I would go ahead and do that if I were you for your clients. I'd go ahead and get them set up. A lot of times there's a first mover advantage in things like this, and frankly, very few people even know that Apple Maps exist. It's kind of like Facebook, pages. Very few people even understand that setting up a Facebook business page, kind of what that can do for you, long term. Mm-hmm. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yep.
Let me trying to sort out the next questions here. Guys, some of these questions are self-explanatory. Interested in hearing a good, solid linking strategy for 2015 start to finish. Watch your training. Watch your training. So that's my best advice I'm going to give you. Guys, the strategies that we put in OMG are there for a reason. I don't want anyone new or anyone coming into OMG believing that we're holding back strategies and we've got this magic dust over here and we're holding it from you and we're dangling in front of you and we're doing something that's different. We're not. I mean, Greg truly ranks the way that he's teaching in there, and he kills it. He dominates and destroys everyone around him. So I know that you've been taught to hear that all these people in these other groups, black hat groups and other stuff, have all these little secret tricks and methods that they're using. But guys, I don't see them ranking anywhere. I don't see them doing anything. I see Greg Morrison ranking everywhere. I see people in OMG ranking everywhere. So dig into the course. That is the most solid link strategy of 2016. Sorry that if it seems like I'm a little irritated by that, but it's just, guys, it's your training. You paid a lot of money for it. We put the videos up there for a reason, not because we just put them in there for filler. So please go back through and watch all of OMG training. Watch it all. That's what's going down in 2016. It says, let me get to the next one. It says, I have a PBN linked from the same host to both my client site and my money site. Can I send a link from my client site to my money site without leaving a footprint? Anyone want to tackle that?
No would be the answer, I think.
Okay.
That would be a footprint. You'd be linking all the sites. There'd be a closed loop, basically, is what would happen if you did that. You'd have a closed what's that called? Closed link, closed circle. I'm using the wrong term, but yeah, I wouldn't do that, DeAndre.
Great. And here's another question. Is there a way to check to see if your 2.0 is indexed or not? Anyone want to answer that one?
Yep, just like any other page. You could throw it into one of your indexing, tools like, Command Center.
Yeah.
Or you can do a site, colon with the URL.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now so they see it. So I think we've got, just cnn.com. So guys, Greg's taught this. If you went through Greg's training, Greg teaches stuff like this. If you've also went through the 4 pillars training, Greg's questions and answers, all that other sort of stuff, guys, listen, you're going to hear me sound like a broken record. Watch Greg's videos about 6 or 7 times, and this is how you find out if it is. Greg goes over this in great detail in his training several times. It'll say nothing here if it's not. So, for instance, it'll look like this if it's not. If your site is not indexed, it'll look like this. Obviously, we get rid of all the J's and it's indexed. It'll look like that. All you got to do is put site, the colons in there, and check to see, and it's obviously all indexed in there. So thank you for answering that, Stephen.
Sir.
And we will go to the next question. It says, should I leave the penalized PBN still connected or pull down the penalized PBN in case the money site has a number one page ranking? So I guess someone's wanting to know if they've got a penalized PBN pointing at their #1 page ranked site, what should they do with that PBN? Anyone want to answer that?
I say leave it.
Okay. Fantastic. Greg says leave it. So we will.
You're still ranking, leave it.
Great. We'll move to the next question. Simple enough answer. Are there any other sites other than Register Compass that you can buy PBN's expired domains from? Anyone want to tackle that?
Yeah, Register Compass actually is a subscription service that will help you find domains to purchase, but you don't actually purchase them from Register Compass. It is simply like a search engine for domains that you can purchase from places like GoDaddy. If you're looking for something that is similar to it that is free, then you can use moonsy.com or expireddomains.net. There's a whole bunch of them. Command Center has this built into it. What's Derek's called? Juicy Domains?
Yep.
Derek Wozniak has a marketplace for this called Juicy Domains. So there's a whole lot of good opportunities for that, Rebecca. So yeah, lots of places you can do. You don't really need a Register Compass account.
Great. We will move on to the next question, and this is going to be a mind bender right here, so you have to follow me. I have a question regarding multiple office locations. I've got a new attorney client with 6 offices in separate states. We are concentrating solely on building up authority on the main office right now. Over the next few months, how should I go about setting up the Google My Business pages, a new one for each location, or should I create individual location pages on the website? And then they're asking about schema and now. Whoever wants to tackle that.
I can start it off. I can't answer the schema question. Joshua would be best to answer that. There's a very specific way that Google wants you to represent attorneys on the internet with multiple locations, and there's a document in the I can send it to you if it's not there, but you can simply Google representing your business on Google. If you type in those exact words, representing your business on Google, you'll find a doc that explains exactly what Google wants to see, but the short answer is that each individual office should be treated as its own individual entity as far as Google's concerned. So if you have one website with 6 offices, then you should have a page or hopefully a set of pages that represents each individual office, and each individual office as far as setup is going to be unique. So that means it gets its own Google business, its own citations, its own reviews, its own everything. It's treated like it's a separate business. But I suggest that you read that article, the one I mentioned, and you can PM me later if you can't find it. But if you type in representing your business on Google, you'll find the instructions. There's some specific ways that they want doctors, for instance, also to represent themselves. And if you follow the rules, you're going to have a much better chance of ranking. But the schema question, like I said, I defer to Joshua on that one.
No, Stephen, you're 100% on point for that, not only with the Google My Business, but with the schema. There's a lot that Google wants to know about a specific entity, and that entity can be like a person that founds a business or an organization or a local business address or whatever it might be. And that's all. There's a bunch of different things that are called nesting within schema. And if you get it right within Google My Business, getting it right in schema is kind of secondary. It will help you. It will help you rank. It will help you rank the entire entity better. But if you don't get it right in Google My Business, you're fighting an uphill battle. So get it right in Google My Business first. Go to that document, read that, get it right there, and then just mark the websites up appropriately. I'm going to go into a lot more of that stuff moving into 2016. I'm going to work with Stephen on that. What we're trying to do is give Google the information that Google wants. Google has a place in its database for all this kind of information. So we're just trying to make sure that our websites are not confusing. So start with that website, mark your Google My Business like entities up properly, like create them properly, and then after all that, schema comes into play. Schema is after all of that stuff is set up the right way, you can really add fuel to the fire with schema. But if you don't have your website set up the right way, you're not going to get anywhere with schema. Schema is not a trick that's going to overcome proper on-site setup, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Great. And I'm already on the next question. Was there anything about that question that we need to address, or does that pretty much cover it?
Yeah, I don't know if we answered NAP. That was the last thing. Yes, the NAP, or name, address, and phone number, will need to be, you'll need a unique one for each individual location.
Right.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Fletch and Stephen, for answering that question. We're going to go to the next question, and we're going to defer this to Joe Morfolio to see if he's still awake. Are you awake, Joe?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Joe, this is a very hard question, and that's why I called on you. Do PBNs have the same power on Shopify as they do WordPress?
I believe they do. I believe they have the same power.
Joe,
I mean, the power is the same.
Joe, what about a Facebook page?
Yep. Very
really?
similar Facebook page. Yep.
What about an HTML site?
Nope, they don't work with HTML sites.
Holy crap, we've just found the loophole, haven't we? Guys, they work on the same with everything. Everything. Doesn't matter what it is. HTML, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Weebly, whatever. Your PBNs work. They work. So there you go. So hopefully that answers for it. The next question, I've got to defer this to Fletch. This is a great question for Fletch. It says, Fletch, I'm ranking a 3-week-old video on page 1 of YouTube for the main keyword. It's nowhere to be found on Google. Fletch, is it ever going to rank on Google, and how long is it going to take?
I don't know. Why would you refer that to me, Cotton? All you want me to do is talk about some random thing. I'm going to be speculating. I have no idea what the keyword is. I have no idea what they've done to the video to get it to rank. It depends. The answer is it depends. It might be that you did everything right to the video and it's going to continue to gain ranking. It might be that it drops off next week and is never to be found again. I have no idea what you did to the video.
But Fletch, how long is it going to take?
Well, you will find the answer out in 2 days, though. That is the answer. So I don't know what the answer is, but you will find out in 2 days. Yeah, I'll make sure of that. Just send me the URL.
Guys, these like questions are always hilarious to me. It's just, guys, we don't have enough information to tell you why it's not being found. We haven't seen the video, so we need a whole lot more information. That's like asking, Doc, I'm dying. What can I do? Am I dying? My answer is yes, we're all dying. I don't know what you're dying of, but every second that goes by, you're dying. So my thing is, guys, when you ask questions like how long is it going to take, it's not. I find it cute in a way because we have no idea. I can't even tell you. I can tell you within a few weeks of when my site will rank based upon my experience of doing it, but there's a lot of different factors that have to be involved. So we're good, but we're not that good. So when it says, why aren't I showing up and how long is it going to take for me to get there? We don't know. We need a whole lot more information. So Fletch is, yes.
Can I throw something in there too?
You may, please.
If you don't mind. And actually, I'm going to ask, I'm going to make a statement, then I'm going to ask the other coaches, because I think out of everybody on this call, I'm one of the weaker people as far as experience with ranking videos. But so my statement would be, I think that sometimes new people with videos get confused, and they think that if they rank on YouTube, then they're going to rank on Google. The first thing that I would ask them is there any video ranking on Google for the keywords they're targeting with YouTube? So that'd be my first question, because if not, I don't know how likely it is. And then so I guess my question maybe for Joe would be, is there a way, I mean, what do you think are the odds if there's not a video, for that keyword on Google, page one, what are the odds that, that there's going to be one, or is there any way at all to tell that? Because I have no idea.
If there's not a video on there, it doesn't mean that you can't rank a video on page one.
Okay.
I rank videos on page one all the time, especially if you're doing it for local businesses, because a lot of times they the competition just doesn't have the videos there. So I don't think there's ever been a keyword I couldn't get a video on page one for. It's the same. You just have to keep on linking to it. Now, that's not to say that there are keywords that you can't. I don't know. I just haven't not been able to do it. Let's say.
Very cool. Thanks, man. I always wondered that because people have asked me about it. Like, can you force a video on page one if there isn't? And I always say I don't know, but I'm glad that you answered that because now maybe I'll try on some of those. Like if I don't see one. So appreciate it, man.
Great. Next question. Going down the black hole once again. We're getting a lot of unusual questions here. We're getting a lot of shortcut questions. It is, have any of you used Facebook lead ads with success? Any suggestions in using them? I'll give you mine and I'll let any coach say whatever they want. I'm willing to bet and that I am in the top 5 in the amount of money spent on Facebook ads in all of OMG. I've spent for clients and other stuff upwards of $150,000. I've tested over $25,000 myself. I would just as soon as Greg Morrison kick me in the face like Ronda Rousey than for me to recommend any one of you OMGers to use Facebook ads to get clients. So I'll let any other coach jump in if they've had success with it or not.
Well, now, what does being in the top 5 mean, Cod? Because there's only like 5 of us on this thing.
No,
Like
of all of OMG,
like
all the
only in
members,
group.
all
That's what
the
that
members,
means.
everything. There's a lot of speculative training that I've seen on Facebook where like people claim that they get clients from this, and so much of it that they can buy houses and mansions and cars and stuff. And I have not to produce it, and I doubt these people have discovered something that I haven't.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I got like about 45, maybe 55 likes on my Facebook business page, which is now over 1,000, but it has yet to make me much money. So, yeah, I'd follow suit. Maybe not the money best spent unless you're a pro at it, and that's not what OMG is about. So, yeah, I would kind of agree.
Yep. How about you, Greg? Wasted any money on Facebook ads?
What are Facebook ads?
Thank you, Greg. That was a beautiful answer. That's why I love you. When I see you on January 8th, I'm going to give you a brotherly hug.
I can't wait.
Joe Marfolio. Exactly. Joe Marfolio. Have you ever? Nope. Interesting.
No Facebook ads. No, haven't done anything with Facebook ads.
Okay. Stephen Floyd. How about you?
I might be the odd guy out. I agree with you, what you said, Cotton, 1,000,000%. What I would add, though, to it is that I don't think that running an ad to a landing page is going to turn into an SEO client in and of itself. I think that's ridiculous, and people that say that, I agree with you. I think they're completely full of crap. However, I do think that you could use, Facebook ads to build an audience, which could then, possibly turn into a client many steps down the road.
Very true.
So the myth really isn't that Facebook ads don't work at all. The myth is this stupid. I saw a guy that had one of these where it was plastic surgeons, which is one of the niches that I kind of specialize in, and he supposedly sends. So a plastic surgeon, is on Facebook and he sees an ad and he clicks to this landing page, and he watches a 60-second video and then he signs up for a $10,000 a month account. Yeah, in what freaking universe? I'm sorry. Plastic surgeons just don't. Their brains don't work that way. It's I hate to call anything impossible, but I would just say that's impossible to do that. So yeah, so I would say 99% of the people in OMG, it's not worth it. It's not worth learning. Do the other stuff that you're going to do. Down the road, if you want to try to delve into that, that's a whole other specialty.
Right. Great. I want to go ahead and add to this and just my despise for people that claim that they get SEO clients solely with like Facebook ads. Guys, Facebook is a pattern interruption form of marketing. So in other words, you're not going there to buy anything. You don't log into Facebook with the purpose of buying anything. Now, you can go into Google you can go into Amazon with the full intent of buying something. That's all the site is. You can go to Google and do the same thing. But when you see these ads, when you're checking to see if Billy and Bobby made the baseball team, or if your best friend's kids walking for the first time, or if Greg Morrison punched this guy out in an MMA fight, you're not going there to buy anything. So what happens is, if you believe that Facebook is great for humanless interaction buys. And for instance, if you happen to be at OMG Live, and I'm not really giving anything away, Adrian Morrison talked about he's selling cat socks. Well, guess what? You don't need to talk to anyone to buy cat socks. You can click on a button, put out your credit card, and buy some cat socks. Like if you want to buy a moose hat, I don't even know what a moose hat is, but if you want to buy one, you can click on the button and buy it. It's right there on Facebook. It's an impulsive buy. SEO is not an impulsive buy. It's a human interaction buy. I have never, ever, and nor will I ever have a client just fill out my discovery form and I have a PayPal button right there and they just send me $4,000. Now, does that make any damn sense to you? So my whole point of it is as Stephen Floyd clearly says, there has to be multiple steps to get it done, but it's a human interaction buy. It's not a humanless buy. It's not Tic Tacs. It's not that you're buying some lawn darts and you just click on it and put your credit card in. So this is why there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of interaction back and forth. You can create leads and you can keep hitting these people. But for all these people that claim that they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month at it, prove it. So what I want to do is, guys, is so we don't really, this question comes up a lot. If you could just please go to the Facebook group and just put #understand. If I've made sense and if Steven's made sense, there's no coaches here that say that they use this to just one punch buy clients. Just give me a #understand if that makes sense. So there's a lot of coaching that claims that they do. I call BS. And you can, and if you see it, you can tell them Cotton calls BS. I'll be happy to. So that's why I've wasted well over $15,000 chasing that rabbit hole.
Yeah, me too.
And it was the biggest waste of money and time. Oh, look, there's a moose hat right there. This you can buy, kabam, one click. You don't need a human to buy it. So that's why. So guys, we try to save you from the shortcuts or crazy stuff that people's going to try to tell you to do. It's just not, it's not going to happen. You're just giving Facebook money. But not only that, but to sit, the most monotonous thing about that thing is, Stephen, and you know what I'm talking about because you spent money there, is to watch all these damn pictures that you got to keep switching out. Oh my God, this picture doesn't work. What about this picture? Oh my God, I'm getting clicks on this picture.
Man, Cotton, you're seeing in my brain, because that's what I was convinced that it was one little thing that I was doing wrong that was making it not work, because of course it was working for the person that sold me the course. Of course,
right.
Of course, now I know years later that they were full of crap probably, but I was obsessive about it. Yeah, I mean, just it must have been I needed to say this, or I needed to have this picture in the person's face needed to face this way. Like I had all these stupid things that I was trying to figure out why my ads weren't working. And like you, I don't know if I spent 10 grand, but I for sure spent 5, and I got absolutely nothing. I got 0 leads. I mean, not even a sniff. Complete waste of money. I was so despondent at the end. I just thought, man, I just must be a total doofus.
Yeah,
I'm not able to make this work.
Right. Obviously, you can sell. I'm still angry about spending the money. I mean, it's obvious.
I know, me too.
It's kind of obvious. It's like, I know I'm not this stupid, and these guys aren't that smart. It's not that. So. With that, guys, we will answer one more question before we head out here. So we will pick out a good random question here. See what we got here. Here we go. You know what? what better way to end Q&A with some Greg Morrison? Greg Morrison, the question is from David MC. And by the way, guys, just to let you know, please sign up with your real OMG name that you signed up with and paid the course for, because if I see crazy looking names or anything, I generally bounce them from the webinar because you might have snuck on or got on here. Greg Morrison, how long do you notice now before PBN links start having an effect on rankings today?
For a lot of them, I notice an effect right away, but it's a small effect, and then it seems to gradually keep kicking in over time. And I did a case study, which you can find on any of my webinar replays. I go over it almost every one, where it took a site from number 40 to number 1 in 6 months. It took 6 months to make that jump. First month it jumped up to like bottom page 2. Second month it was like mid. Third it was like top. Fourth it was bottom page 1, and so on until it hit number 1. So it's just a slower climb now. Links are taking longer to kick in. You just have to be more patient. But usually, they do seem to kick in. Most of them seem to kick in a little bit within a few days. But I have auction domains, more powerful ones. Sometimes I still do notice no movement until about the 30-day mark, though. So I haven't figured out why some are within a few days and some are 30 days. That might be a random thing, but it seems to be either a few days or 30 days, then you'll see the movement, and then you'll keep seeing it over the next 6 months.
Great. Thank you, Greg. It's quite valuable for everyone. There is more random question on here that Gregory Ortiz wanted to ask. I'm going to throw that to Joe Marfolio. Joe Marfolio, Gregory Ortiz actually did write this. He said, a question for any of the coaches. Why are there so many unattractive chicks tonight on Tinder?
I don't even know what Tinder is.
Okay. Fletch,
is that like a Facebook answer?
Fletch, you want to try to tackle that one for Ortiz? He's having a hard time right now. He doesn't know if he should swipe left or right.
You know what? I already gave him a private message about that.
I see the answer.
Yeah,
that's right.
See the answer. You know what's going on, so he just has to deal with it. He's gonna have to swallow that cookie tonight.
Great. There you go. So Ortiz, please pay attention. Don't be swiping left or right on Tinder. We're like trying to have a webinar to help people. So, guys, what we're gonna do is Bill like says he's using Tinder for retargeting. So, but retargeting, what's the answer? So, guys, what we're going to want to do right now is just give you a brief preview of what OMG is going to be in 2016. There's a lot of exciting things that we've talked about. But what I would like to do is first, everyone is here for a super cool lesson. We're going to let Stephen Floyd rip this lesson out, and then we are going to go through coach by coach and give you a sneak preview of things to expect in 2016, along with a very, very, very nice surprise at the end of this webinar that I think you're going to enjoy. So with that, guys, Stephen Floyd is going to be one of the reasons why that in 2016, OMG is really going to light it up. So as soon as Stephen Floyd, this whole webinar tonight is wrapped around Stephen. He's going to give the lesson tonight, and then all of the coaches are going to tell you why he's going to be an integral part of 2016 along with Liz Herrera. So, Stephen, if you're ready to take it over and show everyone what you got, we can go from there.
Yes, sir. I'm ready. Let's see. All right. I pulled it on over. All right, guys. So glad to see everyone tonight. So like Cotton mentioned, I'm going to do a reasonably short lesson tonight, and then hopefully we'll have some comments after, and I hope you guys get a lot of value out of this. All right, so question number 1, of course, is give me a 1 if you can hear me, and if you can read the words on my screen, type them in the chat, please. If you can read the words on my screen, please type them into the chat. All right, so it sounds like we are good. All right, so what I'm going to talk about tonight is what I call legit social. So what do I mean by legit social? So I'm going to kind of explain my title there a little bit down the road. But suffice it to say, what we are going to be talking about tonight is going to be social signals. All right, and so I want to briefly go over kind of what those are, what that means. So give me a 2 if you feel like you understand what a social signal is, and give me a 3 if you feel like you don't know what a social signal is. All right. All right, so it's looking about 50-50, it looks like there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a really, really brief explanation, because I can tell you from reading posts in the group that there is some confusion about what some different things are and what they mean. So the main things, and this is not to be meant to be inclusive, okay? This is meant to be more of an introductory lesson, okay? But what I want to explain is that social signals is, when you use that term, you're not referring to one thing, okay? You could be referring to one of several different things, all right? So one of the things that you could be referring to is you could be referring to a social mention, okay? And a social mention would be when someone refers to your business on a social site like Facebook. Let's say someone in a Facebook post mentions your business, okay? But that's all they do, they mention it, all right? So that is a type of social signal, all right? The second type, and the one that probably most of you are going to be most familiar with, is what is really called a social link, okay? And so a social link would be when someone from a third-party site links from their social account to like your website or to your social account, okay? So we have different tools and things that do that, right? So that's really more of a social link or a social backlink, okay? The next type that we have is going to be when someone socially interacts with your actual site. On the social site itself. So that could be when someone comments on a post that you made, let's say in Facebook, okay, for instance, all right? And then the last type, main type, is going to be a social interaction that occurs on your site, okay? And so the main 2 types that we care about as far as SEO goes are going to be the social link and the social interaction on your site. So an example of a social link would be if someone goes onto Tumblr and they post, hey, check out this cool site, and they put a link back to your website, okay? That's an example of a social link, all right? And that's going to carry some link juice and some equity, and of course we talk a lot about that in OMG, right? And the other type, though, social interaction on your site, would be if I go to your website and you have a button that says, you know, like or share or plus or pin, right? And what happens is they're going to click that button on your website, but the interaction is occurring on your website. So they're not liking your Facebook page, right? They're liking your site on your site, but that counter is going back to Facebook, all right? And so those are a couple of different types, and I wanted to kind of point those out first because there's a lot of confusion between numbers 2 and 4. And kind of how they work and what they can do for you. And so I'm going to go into that a little bit more in just a minute. All right, so without going into, you know, I could probably pull up 50,000 graphics. Give me a 1 if you understand that social signals are important for SEO, and give me a 2 if you don't understand that social signals are important for SEO. I'm not really expecting any 2s. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so I don't really have to get a buy-in from you guys. It's pretty much understood by pretty much everyone that social signals are a part of the ranking factor. This specific graphic that I pulled here from Moz has to do with local ranking, but you'd be looking at basically the same type of pie chart regardless of whether it was national ranking or e-commerce or whatever it is. All right, so you know, basically this is something that, you know, is important. It's something we need to be doing. It's one of the, you know, many factors that goes into helping us rank sites. All right. So how do we get these social signals, right? So we've talked about a few types of them, and we've talked about that we know that we need them, but how do we actually get them? All right, so method number one, and probably the most popular in OMG, are going to be what I call synthetic, okay? And that would be when you buy these social signals on places like Source Market and Fiverr, right? So you go on Source Market and you buy a gig for 20 Facebook likes, okay? That's an example of buying a signal. There's also tools that you can use to generate these signals. SendWire, for example, is a tool that you can use to get these social backlinks, right? And of course, there's many other tools. Another method you can do is you can trade these social signals with people. So you can have groups and forums and all kinds of Skype groups and all kinds of ways. And there's even websites specifically designed for you to trade these social signals with people. Okay, it's a booming business. Everyone knows that it's important, so there's a lot of money to it. So of course people are selling this and trading this and generating tools for this. All right. So you see my question mark here, where I say that all these methods I put, are they temporary and are they not safe? And I'm not telling you that one way or the other. I'm not telling you that it's not safe to use the tools or the services I mentioned above. And I'm not even telling you that the results you get are temporary, but I'm telling you to think about it. Because many of you I know would agree that when you have a new client website, and you go to buy your 50 Fiverr likes or Facebook likes and 20 Twitter retweets and all that, I know that some part of your brain is kind of wondering if this is going to be okay, kind of wondering if you should be doing this or not. All right, so just some things to think about. So method number one again would be synthetic. So what would method number two be? Method number two would be what I prefer to call real. And how do we get these social signals for real? And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about this evening. That's part of the main thrust. So one way that we can get real social signals is by having contests on Facebook or on other websites. Another way that we can get social signals, as Fletch mentioned earlier, when he ran his Facebook ads, that he got some likes and some interaction with his page. So purchasing Facebook ads is another way to get these. And there's many more, but I'm only going to talk about a few tonight. And so here again, I didn't put question marks, so let me put question marks here. But I think I can make this statement that when you utilize these methods, and that you get real followers and potential buyers, that it is going to be safe, okay? And it is going to be a more of a long-term thing. All right. So if you guys assume or agree with me so far, then I'm going to say that the thing that would make you not want to do the real ones is because it takes more money or more time than doing the synthetic. So if that statement I just made is true for you, give me a 2. If you think that you probably should be doing, real social for your clients and your websites, but the reason that you don't is because it costs more or it takes more time and energy and things like that, that's why you're not doing it. All right. So it looks like, it looks like pretty much everybody. All right. So, I'm going to segue a tiny bit for a second, but then I'm going to come back. All right. So I promise I'm not going to lose that topic. I'm going to come back to it, but I'm going to segue for just a minute, and you'll understand why when I get there. So problem number one really was getting these social signals. How to get them? We can get them synthetically, or we can try to get them, maybe more like a safe way. But here's the problem. And this is really mainly for client SEO, but it also could be applicable for affiliate and for some other things. So if you are a client SEO, the way that you're supposed to get these, social interactions and social links and things is the same way that you're supposed to rank, and that's supposed to be with just great engaging content, right? That's what everybody tells you. Well, if you want to get, these social signals, if you want to get these backlinks and things, then you just have to have this great content. Well, the problem is, what is interesting about roofing? right? What's interesting about plumbing, right? Like, let's say that I'm a local roofer, and I know that I need some social signals, so I want to create some engaging content about roofing, right? And then I'm going to post that on Facebook. What is it about roofing exactly that people are going to share? So give me a 3 if you understand kind of where I'm coming from, kind of what the problem is, right? Give me a 4 if you've run into this problem with your clients. Okay, you want to do things correctly, but again, what do? How the heck do you come up with something that's interesting? Cotton had an infographic that he shared, recently, and it was something that was really powerful and really relevant. And he ranked the crap out of it, and I think it had all kinds of social shares and proofs. But it was something that was very interesting and very timely and very engaging. How in the heck are you going to do this for a roofer? How are you going to do this for a plumber? Okay, I got to tell you, personally, I can't think of a single thing that a roofing company is going to drop on Facebook that I'm going to give a crap about, and certainly not that I'm going to share. I'm just telling you I can't. All right, kittens. Yeah, someone put kittens in there. Yeah, right. I guess I'll put a kitten on a roof, right? Everybody likes kitten pictures. Okay, so that's the real problem. Okay, and I ran into this issue when I very first started doing client SEO. All right, and so what I'm going to tell you next is the solution that I came up with to address this. And I'm not trying to be hypey here. I think you guys know that that's really not what I'm about. But what I'm about to share with you is actually probably one of my most highly guarded kind of methods that I use or techniques. I don't want to call it a secret. But what I'm about to share with you is actually going to solve several different problems for you, although I'm only going to go over really 1, maybe 2 of them tonight. So I don't know if you can tell by my voice, I'm a tiny bit nervous about it. Like I said, I really feel like this particular method that I developed is really going to give you an advantage, to be honest with you. I think it's going to really give you an advantage, and it's going to be something that you're going to be able to use for your clients and for your own websites and things like that. So without further ado, we have talked about the problem. We have talked about some possible solutions, but how they're probably not the best. And so for those of you who know me well, you're not going to be shocked by the next slide that you see. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And what is the answer? The answer, my friends, is going to be charities. That is going to be the answer. So let me go into a little bit more detail so you're going to get where I'm coming from. All right? So you have your roofing client. All right? And your roofing client, they need to have some content on their website on a regular basis. Guys, give me a 1 if you know that having fresh content posted on your website is important for local ranking. Give me a 1 if you know that. Give me a 2 if you didn't. This is an absolute 100% ranking signal. Okay, it's not even debatable. All right, it's something that's going to help you if you're adding fresh content, at a decent rate. Google loves to see fresh content, and that's not just for big websites. It's for little local websites too. Okay, so what we're going to do for our roofer is instead of talking about roofing all the time and nails and shingles, we are going to pick a charity. And I'm going to go over kind of how to pick them here at the end. But we're going to pick a charity, and our content, not only for our website, but also for our social, is going to be about charities. All right. So that is the big, I guess, kind of reveal. I'm going to show it to you in more detail here in a moment. But I'm telling you, this is something, and there's probably There's probably a dozen different things that you can do with this. I'm not going to go over all of those on this webinar. I'm only going to go over one or two. But as we progress and as we do webinars, next month and down the road, I'm going to visit this again, and I'm going to point out something else about it. Something else about how when you start building relationships like this with charities, that you can, do lots of great things with those. And we're not talking about a huge investment in money. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. All right. So let me show you. I mentioned up here in this slide about contests and Facebook ads. All right. So guys, give me a 1 if you've ever run a Facebook contest before. And I'm not expecting to see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so a few of you had. Okay, good. All right. So a few of you have. The vast majority haven't. I'm going to give you some examples. All right. And I'm also going to kind of show you how to find these, so you don't have to worry about coming up with them and being creative. All right. So what I want you to see here, this is a very standard kind of a Facebook contest. Okay, and so here, this one is obviously for a company that sells things in the vaping niche. All right, and so they create this graphic here, which you can create very easily in Canva or Photoshop or any of the basic photo editing tools. These are very easy to make. You can buy them on Fiverr, if you don't want to make them. And then the way that these are going to go, you see this. Like, share, and post this image, okay? And that's all you have to do, all right? And here is the rules, right? But what I want you to see here, you probably can't see it. Guys, if you can see how many likes and how many shares there are on here, type it into the chat box. I know my screen isn't huge, so you probably can't. So if you can, type it in. Let me make it a little bit bigger, and I know it's going to mess up my picture. This particular post has 749 shares, 342 comments, and 299 likes. Okay, and this post was put up 20 hours ago when I copied this, and it was today a couple of hours ago. So that was basically less than 24 hours, okay, to get that many interactions on something like this. Now, for this one, of course, there is a physical prize, right? So the cost for you to run this this Facebook contest would be whatever this prize costs, okay? So there's example number 1. I'm going to roll into example number 2. And so this one has a little bit of a different one. So this is, let's see, Dr. Crimines. And I'm not even sure what Dr. Crimmy does. I don't remember. I just grabbed a couple of these based on some of the things that they have. But if you see here, share this post, like this page, and fill out the Google Doc below, okay, for a chance to win an awesome stocking stuffer for yourself or a loved one, okay? So we are getting social interactions. Share this post, like this page, right? But also, we're filling out a Google Doc, right? And this one, again, was posted it was a little bit less than a day ago, and 550 shares, 322 likes, and 200 comments, okay? So, again, this is just a huge, if you were to buy these with ads, this would be massive, okay? And look, an awesome stocking stuffer. What does that mean? Right? Who knows what that means, right? That could be a $10 item or something, right? Or maybe it's a $20 item. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Point is, this doesn't have to be expensive, okay? And these social interactions, you understand that all of these shares are basically creating new viewers for this page, right? So it's basically the same thing as going out and buying likes. But what you've done here is you have brought in real people. Not fake Facebook profiles came and liked this page and shared it. A bot did not come and like this page and share it. Real human beings who may potentially be customers for your client, if you're doing it for your clients or for your business, are here with a simple contest, okay? A very, very simple contest. Now, what I want to point out is that these contests, there's lots of ways that you could do this. You can do this for your business, so for the roofer, okay? And it could be where the contest has something to do with the charity, okay? So you're doing a contest for the charity. So, for every, if we get 1,000 likes, then we will donate $100 to this charity, right? Something like that, okay? And so, there's lots of different ways to run these, but that's how it works. And the way that you're going to get people to these contests, there's lots of tricky ways. You can straight up buy Facebook ads, but you can just do a very simple Facebook search, and find groups in your niche and just drop these in there, okay, and get a decent amount, okay? Either that, or I would tell you that on average I spend about $50 per client to launch this kind of a campaign for them, okay? So I spend about $50 on Facebook ads, and the ads, they look like something like this, right? And that brings people to the page, okay? And then once I have, 50, 100 people, then I just run contests. And you see, when we're sharing, and there's other contests where you tag people, you're bringing people in, and this is how these people build these Facebook pages that have, 10,000, 20,000 followers on it, okay? And so again, that's a whole separate thing. But let me show you 2 more ads really quickly. This one is for an organic, I think like food delivery service. Okay. Again, this one has 1,144 likes, 1,021 shares, and 1.5 thousand comments. Okay. And so, again, the exposure here is massive. Okay. So what you're doing with this is, you're building these social signals that are helping your client on a massive scale, and you are spending a little bit of money up front possibly. But I'll tell you, what you're going to do, this is kind of a one-time kind of a thing, okay? The money expenditure is just to get the seed people to the site, and you don't have to. Like I said, you can just, join some groups and do some posts and things like that, all right? But the key here to all of this really is that, you're posting about the charities, right? So this I thought was a great example, okay? And I want to show you. So, guys, give me a 1 if you've seen, a post like this, okay? 100,000 shares for the 2 Navy SEALs that died protecting the Benghazi embassy in 7-hour gunfight. Hit like if you love Jesus. Give me a 1. Hit like if you think that women deserve equal rights. Share this post if you love your wife. Okay? Right? Guys, you've all seen them. You've all seen these posts. Give me a 2 if you've seen these posts over and over and over and over, and don't tell me that you're not clicking on them, because you are. Maybe not all of you, but most of you are clicking on these things. You see, click like if you love Jesus, and you love Jesus, so you're clicking like, okay? Most of this is link bait, okay? Most of this is simply, I'm looking on here, right? Look, the comical conservative, right? This is a for-profit business here. I'm not speaking specifically about this because I don't know, but I'm telling you, more than likely, this is a for-profit business. And what they've done here is they are basically using, 2 dead military service members to get some social interactions, which I'm not going to comment on the ethics of that. But what I'm saying is, in a much less slimy way, this is how you're going to use your charities, okay? So, let's say your charity is about hunger, okay? Let's say it's a food supply center, okay? Then you're going to do posts about that. You can do a post with, hungry-looking people and say, if you think, world hunger should end, then share, right, this post, right? Guys, give me a 3 if you're getting what I'm putting out here. Give me a 3 if you're getting what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you can generate massive amounts of social signals and traffic to your site, okay? Not just social signals, but traffic to your site by utilizing this method, okay? And so let me go back to the kind of like the how we do it thing, and then we're going to wrap up. But something I want to make crystal clear, make sure that you got in the beginning. I want to make sure you didn't miss this part. What we're doing is we're making most of the time we're making a page, like let's say it's their blog. The blog works great for this, and on our blog we're putting up a post, okay, and then we are promoting that to our social media like Facebook, and then the interaction, a lot of it is coming back to our page, okay. The most powerful social signal that exists, and I don't want to argue with anybody about it, but I'm just going to tell you, the most powerful social signal that you can do is going to be when someone interacts with your site. Okay, so if you have a post on your website, on your blog, and it has a little like button on it, and someone clicks it, or someone has a pin this button, right, like from Pinterest. When people interact directly with your site, it is very, very powerful. Okay, it's a very powerful signal to Google. Okay, someone that's actually on your site is sharing, and they're taking the time to log in or whatever they have to do. Okay, all right. So here is the basic method. All right. So first, you're going to discuss this with your client, and you're going to find out they may already have a charity that they support. If they do, then great. You can just work with what they have. Okay. If they don't, then you're going to want to kind of pick one. And getting a buy-in from your client on this, I can tell you from experience, is extremely easy. Okay. I have not once had a client give me blowback on this. Okay. I actually absorb the initial cost out of my budget. So all they care about is what am I paying for, right? So, all I do is say, look, as part of my promotion, of your business, we want to show, Google likes to see, that you are someone who, cares about the community and that you're involved and things like that, okay? And so the way that we're going to do this is by, supporting some type of local charity, okay? So you want to pick one that is already established. You don't want to pick, a new one. You want to pick one that's already established and one that's very active on social media, okay? And obviously that should be easy for you to find out. You do need to do something, okay? You need to make a donation or a sponsorship or something, okay? Personally, it'd be great if your clients, would do some type of real sponsorship or something if it's something they cared about. But if not, they need to at least do something. Okay, they need to at least make a $20 donation once if they need to say that this is a a charity that we support. Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is create a We Support page on your client's site, and you don't have to call it We Support. Okay, you can call it whatever you want, philanthropy. There's all kinds of different things. Okay, but basically create this site, create this page. And there's more reasons for that I'm not going to go over on this webinar, but there's lots of methods that involve this that have to do with getting links and all kinds of cool stuff, okay? But you want to make it obvious to someone that visits your website, that they can find that you support this, okay? That's why we're making this page, okay? Now, what we're going to do again, as I mentioned before, we're going to use the charities content for your site's blog content, okay? So, if you want to post once a week for your roofing company, you will have whoever's going to do the posting go and, get something from the charity. There's a newsletter. All charities, pretty much all the real ones, have a newsletter. You open up that newsletter, you find something that you want to promote, you do a post about it. Bob's Roofing, is proud to be a supporter of Al's, food kitchen, and Al's is taking donations this week from 2 to 4 p.m. Be sure to be there. Something. Drop your link in, right? And then of course you can do your contest from here. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, most of you will want to build your initial audience with some very inexpensive Facebook ads. And I said $50 earlier. You could probably get away with more like a $15 to $20 budget. You have no idea how much that buys you in Facebook ads typically. Okay, because the thing about this is you can be so specific with your targeting in Facebook that your audience may be really small, but your chances of getting these followers is extremely high. Okay, if you're in some little city that has 50,000 people in it and there's one food bank and you support it and you post about it, people in your community are going to like it. I'm just telling you that they will. Just trust me on this. So this initial ad, and again, if you don't want to spend this money, then all you need to do is go to community group pages, okay, and you can post in there about this stuff. So again, I said I wasn't going to get too much into this, but just as one example, I'm going to show you the city I live in. So here's one. I live in Frisco, Texas. Frisco, Texas local event calendar. Okay. Anybody who wants can jump on this thing and they can post events. Okay, if they want to do it. So that's a good place. So again, I'm just going to type it. So Frisco online yard sale. Here's one. 10,000 members in this group. Okay, and all of these groups, I shouldn't say all of them, many of these groups are absolutely 1,000,000% going to allow you to post charity notifications. That's the key. That's the workaround. If you came in here and asked these people, hey, I want to promote my roofing business, they're going to say, no, you can't promote your roofing business. But if you come in and say, hey, we want to, we've got this thing, this contest going for, the local food bank or whatever, then most of the time the answer is going to be yes. Okay. So if you don't want to pay for those initial ads, then just find your city or local city and start finding all these local groups, these yard sale groups, these swap meet groups, these remember when groups. There's 1,000,000,001 groups. Okay. So you can do those with very little time and effort. You can probably find a half a dozen of these in 15 minutes and make some posts. And so the final part is, again, we're going to create contests for your sites and for your social accounts. Okay. And so again, this is as simple as this right here. Okay. It's as simple as you post on here. Hey, we're having a contest, and it doesn't have to be for your charity. Okay, I'm telling you to do it for your charity because you're going to get more interaction. Okay, if you post and say, the local food bank is having a food drive and we'd like to support them, so to do that we're going to have a contest, right? And if 1,000 people, if we get 1,000 likes, we'll donate $100. For every 50 likes beyond that, we'll donate $10 more or whatever. The money doesn't matter. I want you to understand like the formula. Okay, so here's the thing. So we're pretty much at the end of this here, and so I want to. I know that this is typically kind of out of maybe the norm for kind of the training that we do, especially in assimilation. Not really sure if this is a hashtag mind blown for you, but I'm telling you from my point of view. This is a major hashtag mind blown. This method that I just showed you is going to allow you to do some crazy things for your clients and for your business as well. I'm telling you, and it's dirt cheap. All you really have to pay for is these little ads. And again, there's a service called Canva, Canva, that makes this. You can make. I promise you, everyone on this webinar can make these. Okay, and then it's just as simple as making the post and getting it going. And just the last little thought here, guys, for those of you who don't know it, or I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. One of the businesses that I run, actually one of the more successful ones, is an e-commerce site, and that e-commerce site is in the e-cig niche. And for those of you who don't know it, it's a tobacco product as far as the United States government is concerned, which means that you can't buy ads. You can't buy Google ads. You can't do Facebook ads. You can't do all kinds of things. Okay, you cannot buy advertising for tobacco-related products in lots of different venues. So the way that I built up that business, and it's a very successful business, is 100% by doing exactly what I've just shown you. Okay. This is exactly what I just showed you is how I built that business up. It is, well, it's 95% social media and 5% email marketing. But 95% of it, I launched the site. There was no SEO. There was no traffic. I created a Facebook page. I started doing contests. And now that business is booming. And you can reproduce it over and over and over and over again. So I'm showing you this technique and this method to help you to be able to generate those very valuable social signals and social interactions and social traffic, right? Remember, when you log into your analytics account, you can see that traffic, right? You could even track it specifically, right? You can specifically track who came from Facebook. And if you don't think it's good for your ranking, you're kidding yourself. It's absolutely fantastic for your ranking. So we are helping our clients. We are creating content where it really didn't exist before, and hopefully we're doing some good and helping some charities. And so, Cotton, I think that's it.
Cool. Guys, this is a simulation, guys, obviously. Light bulbs are going off everywhere in everybody's head. Guys, let's give some hashtag mind blowns right here. Guys, there's almost 400 people on this webinar. If we don't get at least 200 of these, you're just kidding yourself. Come on. Come on. Keep them coming. Guys, I want to see you participating. Wake up. Act like you're not asleep. Head over to the Facebook page. Guys, this is sort of stuff that you're not learning anywhere else. You're not getting it anywhere, but right here in OMG. And that's why, guys, I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine this while let me refresh my page. It's obviously not showing everything. But guys, I want you to imagine, and there's only 264 comments. I want to see 500 by the time we're done. Even if you've got to post it 4 or 5 times, let's repost it. Let's get 500 on here going. So, guys, could you imagine? I want you to imagine this, because what he talked about is not only creative, but it's brilliant. And you're right. It is next level. It's what I talked about last week. Hashtag, we're going to use it all next year. We might replace hashtag mind blown for hashtag next level. That's next level stuff. Now, I want you to imagine this before we start getting into previews of 2016. How could you make it? Now, I know there is mind-blowing information and modules that is inside of OMG already. It just is. Guys, if you feel that all of the knowledge that Greg, Fletch, Joe, Steven, Liz, and I have is already in OMG, you're mistaken. It's not. And that's why in 2016, could you imagine not having an assimilation webinar at all? Not having a hot seat. Not having a Greg Morrison Q&A. And definitely not having Fletch's webinars. You know, Fletch and Greg's webinars are so important. They're the core of what OMG was built on. It's a foundation that holds this stuff up. But could you imagine them not being there in 2016? Just imagine it for a moment. No assimilation, no disclosure, no ghost webinars, no Fletch, no Greg, just the information that you have inside of OMG. It'd be crazy, wouldn't it? You know, over the last year, we've all been very, very privileged to create some of the most mind-bending webinars for you that's helped everyone really, really step it up. And last year, one of the more selfless people, and I'm going to highlight him right now because he is a new coach coming into 2016, is Stephen Floyd. And Stephen Floyd selflessly gave last year. He wasn't paid to do it. We weren't giving him anything for coming on assimilation webinars. Some of the top things that you remember about last year's in assimilation, you know, are simply Google Grants. You know, we can go through with Stephen and I was our partners on Mobile Apocalypse, just several different things. And there's so many webinars that they're all scrambled in my brain. But here's what I do know. I do know that in 2016, and I know this is going to sound crazy, we have way more to share than we ever did in 2015. We're smarter, we're better SEOs, and we know a whole lot more. But what I want to talk about is why it's so important for us bringing on Stephen Floyd next year for 2016, that I want some of the coaches to just kind of reflect back on what Stephen Floyd has meant to them for the work that he's brought into OMG in 2015. We'll start out with Fletch. Fletch, what has Stephen Floyd meant to you with the work that he's done in OMG over the last 12 months? You there, Fletch? Because if not, you're on mute. Well, maybe like Fletch had to go to the bathroom. Greg, I'm going to go ahead and move over to you. 2015, what is Stephen Floyd meant to OMG as far as his work ethic and some of the things he's brought?
That's been huge. I mean, if you're just now coming around, I mean, Steven's been on a lot of webinars. Even behind the scenes has been meant more to me, which, of course, allows me to pass on information. Is he's behind the lines testing stuff as well, which I think is one of the most important things to do. Whether it's client stuff or SEO or whatever, because I mean that's how you get real results. And Steven's one of the people that I know tests a lot of stuff, and I've gotten help from him directly on stuff like PBM. Like hosting issues, he's very technical, so I'm not as technical, so I can go to him on technical stuff. And I mean, he's really big, especially even behind the scenes. I mean, not just in public, but behind the scenes, which then gets, that information gets tested by me and then redistributed through the community. So I mean, it's huge.
Definitely. Fletch, what about you?
I think you'd muted me when I was eating my potato chips, and everybody might have heard that, so apologize there. But no, one of the biggest things I think Stephen brings to the table is really that strong point on Google My Business, on local map results. That's not something that we've really focused that much on in OMG. But like, he comes from that world. He's got a community that he built on that, like Greg said, is very technical. I think that as we all kind of get to know each other even better, it's going to flesh out even that much better and that much stronger. I'm just kind of thinking back, like when I came on board with OMG, it was like, what the hell do I have to give? Like, it's Greg Morrison. I'm like, all I'm doing is like teaching Greg Morrison stuff, and I'm helping people understand it. But what I realized was that as more and more people, bring their own kind of twist on things and what they've seen and what they've tested and what they've experienced, especially folks that, unlike me, have actually been doing this for a while. The community just gets stronger and stronger. So I'm really excited about 2016, and just having that really strong component in the local side, and just another kind of perspective on SEO that has been doing this for a while, that really can bring kind of that mindset to it. So I'm excited about 2016. Honestly, I'm more excited about this next year than I have been about anything up to this point. So
I agree.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, guys, 2016 bringing on Stephen Floyd for me was huge. I fought for Stephen Floyd to be on and lobbied for him to be on for months and months and months. I remember Stephen and I having conversations. I said, "Don't worry, I'll try to find a way to bring you aboard and have you be a coach somehow, some way." So he's here, and obviously tonight you see how important that is. And he's one of the most ingenuitive people that I get a chance to talk to, always consistently thinking, always testing, always trying to find, as we talked about last week if you listened to it, what is the next level? That's what Stephen lives and breathes. He's asking, what's the next level? And that's what I like about him. Never satisfied with the level that he's at. So with that, guys, I want you to imagine, and I want you to hold this. No Stephen Floyd, 2016. No assimilation. No hot seat. No Greg Morrison, live webinars, and no Fletch. Could you imagine that? Now, while you're imagining that, guys, I really want you to thank Stephen Floyd for his continued success that he's given us all year long. This is the only payment that he's going to get. So if Stephen Floyd has helped you in some way in 2015, I want you to put it on this thread so he can see it. This is his payment. He didn't make a cent all last year. Just a simple thanks, Stephen, and he'll get the idea. If he's helped you with anything, if you've watched one video, if he's answered one question, if he's answered someone else's question in an OMG group, if he's done anything for you that's helped you, anything, I want to see you thank him, because we want to welcome him on as a coach in 2016. And Stephen, obviously you see all these coming in, man, it's got to be a pretty good feeling knowing you can impact this many people.
Yeah, man, it's I mean, I'm not gonna crack up here. I'm not gonna do it. But OMG to me is, when I talk about OMG to people who are not in the industry, like people that I know, I always tell them that OMG is the Coca-Cola of our industry. I really feel that way. So just being honored enough to like come on a single webinar and be able to teach something it's such an honor. It's very big for me. I'm such a fan of Fletch and Greg and Joe and you. The thought of being peers with you guys is just nuts. It's crazy. I love helping people. I love teaching. I love coaching. This team, for 2016, I just can't tell you how excited I am. Having people, like you guys as my backup, and and my testing, like Greg mentioned, man, when I mention something to Greg, Greg can just meet it out, man. Like if I've been testing something, and Greg's like, oh, I've been thinking about that or this, I just really have the confidence that what we're doing is, that everything is good, and it's going to be helpful, and it's just I got to tell you, man, 2016 I think is going to be my best year, personally, professionally, in every way. And like I said, I'm so honored to be, part of the team. I still have a little bit of, it's still a little bit surreal for me, to be honest with you. I mean, a year ago, if you told me I was going to be, up here on the same stage as, and nothing against, you and Joe and Fletch, but Greg Morrison, was just, like a freaking god, almost, at that point, if you told me that a year ago, I would have, I don't know, I would have just been gone crazy, but I'm so honored to be here, and I'm so excited for 2016, and I'm going to do my best to, do everything I can to, provide as much value to the team here at OMG and to everyone who's a member.
Great.
So thank you guys for all of the kind words and of course the kind comments.
Thank you, Stephen. And guys, it's just a pleasure to have him around. Someone that's had giving, that's given the last year, just showing how selfless he's been, trying to help others without asking for anything in return. So, guys, with that, what I'm going to ask you is we're going to move into a different segment of the webinar right now, and give me a number 5 right now. And I want everyone to do this so I can see. It's very, very important. A 5 in the chat box. It doesn't have to be on the Facebook page. If you are in Project Breakthrough, if you're in Project Breakthrough, give me a 5. If you're not in Project Breakthrough, give me a 2. It's very important. I need to see this. So there's quite a few 2s. Quite a few 2s. So great. So that's be Project B, Project Breakthrough, give me a 5. So what I'm going to explain to you guys is, for those of you that have posted in the chat box or in the Facebook group that you're a number 5, that you're in Project Breakthrough, I want you to ignore what I'm going to say for the next 2 minutes. And I'm going to explain why. Guys, David Mills sat around a long time and he thought about, all of these live webinars are ending for everyone, or not ending, but they're just coming to a close at the end of the month. Simulation's gone, hot seat, Fletch and Joe gone for a lot of people. So David sat around and he said, you know what? It's not a good thing. So what David Mills has done is extended all live webinars for everyone in Project Breakthrough until June 30th, 2016. So if you're in Project Breakthrough, you get assimilation Hot Seat, Greg, Joe, Liz's webinar, all of that, all of it, till 2016, June 30th, 2016. Now, if that sounds amazing, give thanks David Mills, because he did not have to do that. Just let like David see it. I'll direct him to see it. Guys, if you're excited that he's extended it another 6 months, because as you know, live coaching and training does not have to go on that long. It does not. You're only guaranteed a few months. So David's extending it for everyone in Breakthrough another 6 months. So I want to make that clear. So guys, if this is the only people that can thank David Mills, it's crazy, because you have no idea what he's done for you when like you see what we're going to unleash on 2016. It is literally, he's almost, by doing this 6 months, he's given you a whole new program, a whole new door he's opened up. And I'm going to explain to you why in a second. Now with that, all you guys in Project Breakthrough, turn your ears off. Everyone that is in Project J, Project X, and NHB. Guys, unfortunately, live webinars expire on the end of this month. So what we're doing is tonight, before you lose Assimilation, you lose Hot Seat, and you lose, Stephen is also going to be doing sporadic webinars. Stephen's not going to be doing weekly webinars, but he's going to be doing topical webinars all through 2016, or webinar series on particular topics. However long it takes it to go over, sprinkled out through this, then you need to sign up, and you will look that there's going to be an order page if you're in Project X, or if you're in NHB, or if you are in NHB or Juggernaut, Project J, you will see there's going to be an order form right here taking you into where you can sign up for Director's Cut 2016 to continue to get live webinars. Now, until Assimilation came around and Hot Seat came around, it was just Q&A webinars, and their Q&A webinars literally build the foundation of everything in OMG. But let me talk a little bit about what you're going to be losing in 2016 and why you should extend to get these webinars. David has also given you 3 months of getting Assimilation for free, where he's opened up all webinars to OMG for October, November, and December. This has been open to everyone, but start January, this is what I can tell you. I have spent the last 6 months sweating, thinking, going crazy, making note after note after note about how I'm going to amp up Assimilation even 50 times harder to what it was, to literally annihilate stuff. In other words, I don't want to say it, but I would not want to be the person that doesn't get these webinars. Now, it's almost like the Assimilation webinars are almost like, oh, and by the way, those of you that are in Project Assimilation already, 2016, don't panic. You're good for the next year. Don't worry. I just thought of that in my head. So guys, what I'm trying to tell you is that if you think that the things that you've heard about Assimilation were great in 2015, you have no idea what we've got lined up. I've also showed you a preview webinar of Disclosure, what we're going to do here. That is up also, right here, Disclosure webinar, which is in Director's Cut. We're going to throw down like we never have before. People, I still get posts every other day sent to me or messages about this Disclosure webinar and about how it literally blew their mind. Guys, also, Joe Marfolio isn't here, but I'm going to talk for him. Joe is literally going to unleash a tactic onto OMG that he's going to take months to describe, that was taught at OMG Live, that literally is going to alter the face of OMG as well. It did for everyone that was at OMG Live. It's a tactic that's so powerful that we decided that we're probably going to have to talk about it in 2016. This is going to be also on Director's Cut 2016. So the way to sign up is pretty simple. It's going to be right here on the right-hand side of either NHB, Project X, or Project J, and that's how you're going to get signed up with it. Also, you are still going to get access you're going to get access to Liz Herrera's webinars. She's got a posse of people she's bringing. That's going to be Amazon throwdowns every week. But the most important thing is, guys, is you're absolutely insane if you're not listening at least to the replays at bare minimum of Greg Morrison and Fletch. Every week I listen to the replay on these, whether I'm driving on the car or wherever. I pick up something from these guys. These guys are too freaking smart not to listen to every week. There's always something I can pull out of these webinars that utterly take my game to another level or makes me think about something different, makes me think about something totally different. These guys are game changers. And so when I said, could you imagine a life without assimilation, without Stephen Floyd, without Fletch, without Greg, without Hot Seat, I don't understand how you could. So with that, guys, we're starting early sign up right now for Director's Cut 2016. I can tell you that assimilation itself is going to have mind-bending guests every week. We're stepping up the level on what we're going to be doing. So it's going to be crazy. And a matter of fact, the rate that the new members are going to come in, guys, these webinars are going to have hundreds, well over 600-700 people on them every week, which is unheard of for webinars. Thousands of posts and everything else. So where I want to take it back to is I've told you about what assimilation is going to bring. I've told you about what Joe's going to bring on Hot Seat. But let's hear about what Fletch and Greg are going to be bringing that you're going to be missing out on if you're not in Director's Cut 2016. Fletch, what are you going to be bringing to us in 2016? What are they going to be missing out on in Director's Cut with you?
Well, this is one of the things that I was kind of halfway reluctant to share, but you know, I'm kind of looking at the numbers we have and who's here. So there was a specific piece of schema code that's something that I know people in OMG are kind of paying attention to more now. They know I've been kind of working on, but there's like a specific piece of that code that I added to a nationwide directory site that I have going on. It's a rank and rent style site. I added it, and within 2 hours I wound up with star ratings in the SERPs, which if you don't know, I'm actually going to give you a lot of a hint here. If you go to whoever's on tonight, if you think about maybe the nearest town of probably more than 120,000 people in your area, and type in lap band, LAP space BAND space, the name of that town, and do a search, in all likelihood you will find that site on the first page of Google.
Hey, Fletch, let me bring this up for you so everyone can see it, so we don't have to look.
Yeah.
What is it again?
Oh my God.
What is it?
That's great.
Well, you can't. I don't want to make a big deal about this.
What is this?
I want to kind of slide
Come on,
this in
Fletch,
here.
give me the damn all right.
No, because like if everybody here, this is kind of big, and I'm trying to.
Well, let me search.
I've had a couple. I'm trying to not make this a big deal. Where are you? I want to see where your screen is.
Right here.
Okay. All right, go, Cotton. Where are you, Cotton? Orlando?
Of course.
Why don't you go to, I don't know where you are.
Yeah.
Where are you? Here, type in, let's just pretend we're in Southern California, all of us in the land of the pretty people.
Uh-huh.
Let's go to the horrible town of Moreno Valley.
Reno Valley?
Moreno Valley. No.
I'm a horrible speller.
I know. I'm a horrible. Yeah, Valley.
Okay,
Space Valley. Yeah, and then type in lab band. People are going to get to like kind of reverse engineer this a little bit, but I promise you that you won't know all that's going on there.
Okay.
I think I see my site sitting fat and proud right there with some star ratings. Yeah, that's 2,000 keywords nationwide. How's that star rating? It took 5 minutes.
But Fletch, nobody wants to know how to do this though.
No, they don't. Of course they don't. And the horrible thing is that actually moved us up in the SERPs when we instigated it. When we put that in our website, we actually moved up almost an entire page for a lot of keywords. So not only did we get the star rating, but we got improved rankings. We got to do it the right way.
Guys, I'm going to let Fletch continue right after this. If you need to learn this, by the way, Webb, it's with a K. Not that I'm being picky. And guys, I'm going to answer the question. If you're in Director's Cut 2015, that ends in 3 weeks. January 1st, it expires. Matter of fact, it should have expired 6 months ago. You were only guaranteed 6 months of webinars. You've like gotten an additional 6 months. So yes, all those expire. Guys, if you want to learn what Fletch has done to get this site ranking with 2,000 keywords in 2016 with Director's Cut and a breakthrough, give me a hashtag yes. That's all I need. It's just keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. Now, guys, I'm like telling you, this is some exciting stuff. Is what I'm like trying to tell you. This is it. There we go, guys. Let's keep it rolling in. So, guys, this is what I'm talking about. So, if you could imagine not being, Webb, slap Facebook, slap it around. So if you could imagine a world without Fletch, just when you think that Fletch might be sleeping, eating some chips, he's dropping a piano on your head.
I sleep and eat chips though too.
So guys, this is what I'm talking about, and I'm a little disturbed that we've only got like 15 people say yes, that they're not even interested in what you're doing. So
you know what though, Cotton? That's one of the reasons that I was prepared to actually share that tonight.
Yeah.
Because the people that are actually here, I want to give them something that will completely change the way they do SEO.
Right.
There's other people that might have gone to bed, that might have decided to watch friggin' Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Claymation. I don't give two shits about what they're doing tonight. But quite frankly, the people that are here, they're spending their time like we are, trying to improve our lives, trying to improve the lives of the people that we care about.
Sure.
Give them something.
Yeah.
So the people that are on here, that's why I took a look at how many people we have on and this and that. That's for you. That's what you have looking forward to 2016.
Wow. So guys, if you could imagine being without that, guys, literally, Fletch is making sure, as you all are for being on here right now, that satisfaction is not the enemy, or that it is the enemy. I'm sorry. So guys, amazing stuff. Fletch, I think you can just drop the mic and walk off after this. So
I got a fancy mic that is on like the suspension thing, dude. I can't even drop it. I would have a hard time actually slamming it down because it's got like these springs.
Can you like punch it like it sounds like you dropped the mic just to give the effect? There.
Does that work?
There you go.
Does that sound good?
There you go.
I got more stuff, but you don't need any more stuff.
No.
I got a year worth of shit. So
right.
Yeah. Join up. I want to teach you a whole bunch of things.
Exactly.
Make you a bunch of money.
Wow.
The world's better. Yeah.
It's good stuff right there. We're going to go to Greg Morrison next. Greg, what do people have to look forward to from you in 2016?
Well, I'm going to be doing a lot more of the same where, I'm going to be looking at optimization across all my sites, obviously. But I also started about 5 months ago building 10 to 15 new test sites a month, where what I'm doing is I'm going in, I'm linking with different types of links. So that way we can kind of report back, what style links are working, what they do, what works with what, testing what Joe's going to be introducing with all that, just testing social signals and like different styles of linking together on different sites with different anchor text with what Joe's showing and just mixing it all together and seeing what works best and just kind of reporting back. So, just tons more tests. Like I'm going to be taking testing up about 5 times what I did in the past couple of years. So
great. You know what, guys? just not to have access to Greg Morrison on live webinars is just insane anyway. Literally, and he doesn't realize I'm doing it, and he just thinks I'm stroking his ego just because it's a webinar, but it's not. But just literally, just spending an hour and a half. Greg and I were in Miami together. We went on a ride, and just Greg said one thing to me that he had discovered. He goes, I think I'm seeing this happen, and this is what's going on. It's like light bulbs went off in my head. I was like, wow, I never looked at it that way before. Then I immediately wanted to go back to my computer and see what was going on. And sure enough, what Greg said was right. And it altered a lot of what I was doing with SEO and put me back on the right track. So what I'm saying is, guys, just one whisper, one idea from Greg Morrison is enough to alter your business. So that like testing that he's doing, breaking all these algorithms down, and to get these live webinars is something that I think that you're being careless with your business not to have access to a man like that who's literally owns Google. And I know I don't. I mean, I've cussed a couple times on here, but I mean, I don't think bitch is a cuss word. But Greg makes Google his bitch. He does. I mean, it's just true. So,
Cotton, I just want to interject for a second.
Sure.
Everything that I've been talking about with schema and those star ratings, you have to have what Greg teaches to make that work.
Sure.
If you just randomly throw that shit on your website, it doesn't work. And I'll cuss all day long. I've cussed on all my webinars, every single one of them. God damn it. But yeah, it comes down to that. You have to have your on-site right. Schema is just another piece of on-site. So, yeah, if you don't have what Greg teaches as far as understanding anchor text and title tags and URL and even H tags and keyword percentages and all that kind of thing, schema is not going to do anything for you. But if you have all that other stuff and you throw schema on it, well then you've got a lot to play with. You got a lot of money to play with. Yeah. So just want to throw that in there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Greg and Fletch, Corey wants to know if you'll marry him. He's right here. You guys available?
That's a dark and gloomy photo. My wife is pretty hot, dude. She's got some
Greg,
pretty interesting things.
Is this enticing to you? Is this enticing to you?
I got a brand new girlfriend, so I can't, unfortunately.
Wow. It's okay. Sorry, Corey. These guys are taken here. So we're gonna move to the next. Stephen Floyd, you're the X factor in all this. People ought to know what they're getting with assimilation. I shouldn't even have to explain what they're going to get, especially if I said we're going to take it up another level. But they're getting the X factor in all of this, which they don't know. What do they have to look forward from you in 2016? Why is it if all these webinars end for them in 3 weeks, why should they come on to Director's Cut 2016? And what preview can you give for breakthrough and assimilation for 2016?
Wow, man, I'm still kind of reeling from what Fletch just showed me. I'm in crazy mode right now. But I got to tell you, Fletch just said that when you take what Greg teaches and you add his stuff on top of it, that's when it really blows up. That's when it becomes a whole new beast. And so what I'm going to be doing in 2016, without going into a whole lot of specifics, is I'm going to be bringing some more, man, I hate to use the term white hat because that's not really white hat, but I'm going to be bringing some tactics and some strategies that are more maybe mainstream-ish, that when you apply Greg's training to those and Fletch's training to those, then it blows things up in a crazy way. And so, I'm going to be doing some paid traffic things. Again, I don't want to say too much, but we're going to be talking, we don't talk a lot about paid traffic, but I'm going to be doing some of that stuff. I'm going to be doing some stuff with Web 2.0s, like we previewed a couple of months ago. I'll tell you the thing that excites me the most about 2016 is the way that there's going to be a synergy between kind of what all the coaches are going to be teaching. It's not that it wasn't that way this year in 2015, but in 2016, when you look at what Joe's going to do, you look at what Fletch is going to do, and what Greg's going to do, when you throw those three things together, it's crazy. It's just mind bending, and the stuff I'm gonna do, is gonna, just be some more icing on the cake, for that kind of stuff, and some twists on some things that are like, again, I hate to see white hat, but I'm gonna take some white hat things and I'm gonna put a little twist on them, to where you're gonna be able to do things for not a lot of money that other people do, that cost them a lot. So you may have an agency you're competing with that they're going to go spend 10 grand on something. You're going to go spend, $100, and you're going to get the same, kind of outcome. So I just, man, I'm still reeling from Fletch's reveal right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at that side and I'm just like, holy crap.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited, man.
Sure. Guys, that's what you're going to get. But now I'm going to talk for Liz Herrera. Liz Herrera is going to be bringing a level of Amazon that she didn't, guys. For those of you that didn't know Liz Herrera, she came from a massive program, ASM, and I don't really even care to say their name there. I've been to one of their events before. That there was literally 6,000 or 7,000 people there. Liz is voted 2 years in a row amongst the best Amazoners in the world as being the best Amazoner. It's crazy. Liz, I've probably spent more time with her than anyone in all of 2015. We've become very, 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 very close. She's literally like a sister to me. And guys, she's bringing it. She's absolutely bringing it. She's going to create her own ecosystem. But it's not only that, but Liz and I are working on quite a few things together, guys. One thing that we've never really talked about is Amazon client consulting. And you say, well, what is that? Guys, I'm telling you that it's ultimately the perfect synergy of bringing SEO and Amazon together. And it's literally what I talk about, real Shark Tank stuff. Real Shark Tank stuff. Now, the reason that they need Mark Cuban, the reason that they need, Damon John and all these other people is for one reason, guys, traffic. That's it. They put eyes on their products and they can help them in all those areas. What if you didn't need that? What if you could do your own Shark Tank? I'm going to show you how I've been able to take 7% and a $25 million ownership by knowing how to set up Amazon products and doing SEO. Merging them together, all because I knew how to set up an Amazon account. I want you to look around, drive down everything in every Main Street area. You see there's products everywhere. Some people might have individual products they want to get sold. Some stores locally might want to have their own Amazon store up. Do they know how to do it? No. But you need to know how. And you can also do the SEO for it and also take a percentage of the business. Guys, if that sounds like something that you're excited to know about in 2016, taking pieces of business ownership, give me hashtag percentage. Now, I know that we've lost 25 people, or I guess we got boring all of a sudden. I don't know why, but obviously they have better things to do. But guys, give me hashtag percentage that it's exciting that you want to be able to know that you can go in and start owning businesses like Shark Tank does. These guys sit there and say, hey, look, I'll help you, but I'll take 10% to get you help. Imagine how many local businesses would love to have one of these stores set up where they can start selling the products from their own store. And you can apply the SEO with it. Guys, this is some of the stuff that's going to be broken loose in 2016. And I would hate for every one of you to not be a part of it. As I said, make satisfaction your enemy. Take the information that we're going to give you. Guys, this is part of the secrets of what I'm going to be taking myself to $1 million a month. That's my goal in 2016. You know what I'd like to hear? I'd like to go through all the coaches one more time and we're going to close up. Fletch, what's your goal for 2016? And just make it quick in like a minute. What's your main goal of 2016? Are you there, Fletch?
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I was eating chips again, so I had to, quiet myself.
That's
So,
okay.
um, honestly, I don't know that it has anything to do with money. Money is only, for me, what I use to take care of people. And I need to earn enough to be able to, provide for my folks and whatnot. But I took a hankering to SEO, and I like figuring this stuff out. So for 2016, what I want to do is, honestly, I don't want this to come across the wrong way. I want to be able to help out Greg Morrison and bring some stuff to his awareness, and be able to help him test some things that I've been testing that can help out the whole group at large. So, I make a lot of money, and I take care of the people in my office and all that kind of thing, and I'm going to keep doing that. But there's some things that I've been testing that they're just sick, and I want to share those with OMG because OMG's been good to me. So that's my goal for 2016.
Great. Fletch, Greg, what about you?
And pretty much the same. I mean, at this point, it's just helping, I think, other people get their business up and run. Just, I would say, get as many people getting like a business up and running on the internet as possible, whether it's through affiliate, local, Amazon, whatever the case. Just as many people as possible. I mean, we hit a lot in 2015, so maybe double that in 2016. I'm hoping,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously that means just keep up with all the coaches. We all keep in close contact as far as testing at least, and just pass that on to the community and just take it up the next notch and help as many people as possible.
Great. Steven, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty close to the same answer. Being the new kid on the block, I wanna make a mark and help as many people as I can. And on a personal note, again, those of you guys that know me, I would like for as many OMG members as possible to hit whatever their personal goals are, financial goals. And on a personal level for me, I'm going to keep talking about this, and I'd like for some percentage of those people to save themselves some taxes and invest some money in some charities and some causes and some things that they care about. And of course the people that their goal is it's not money, but it's time. That's really the biggest victory for me. If somebody tells me that they were working 40 hours a week and now they can stay at home with their kids, that it doesn't get any better than that for me. It's better than money. It's better than just about anything else. So I'm looking forward to doing the best I can to support the team and make sure that you and Joe and Fletch and Greg and Liz, all that if there's any way I can kind of support you guys, that that I'm there and that I can fill that role. So like I said, I'm so excited for 2016.
Great. Guys, my main thing for 2016 is I've had this goal now and it's been scratching at me, is to hit $1 million a month. And that's just a personal goal. Other than that, my only goal into 2016 is to break through as many levels as possible. Because the way I look at it is the more levels I break through, I'm able to share the level underneath me while I'm working on the level ahead of me. So I want to be able to share as much information that's going to be able to affect everyone's bottom line businesses and get to what that happy place is for you. Literally, I don't even know what my happy place is at this point because I work so much. Maybe I need to slow down to figure that out but some of you might have a clearer perspective of what that is. More family, traveling. It might be just to spend more time with your family, just anything, or just even more money for financial security. But I just want to keep breaking barriers and keep asking what's the next level, so I can always reveal the level beneath me so we can really affect a lot of people in OMG. So that's it right there. But guys, what I want to do is just this right now. Guys, I just want to get a pulse on this before we close out. If you've already signed up for Director's Cut 2016, give me a hashtag 2016, because I like literally want to see how many people literally are ready to make a commitment for 2016 to make it happen. And guys, literally, I promise you, this will be the best investment that you're going to get. If you lose access, or if your access runs out to live webinars in 3 weeks, This is the best investment that you can make for yourself. I promise you. What Fletch is going to reveal, Stephen Floyd's going to do. Guys, we've shown you disclosure, Liz, assimilation, myself. Guys, this is, I can't wait to make this the best year ever with like everything. So guys, you've heard from the coaches, and remember, if you're in NHB, Project X, or Project J, it will be over in the right-hand corner right up here, the Director's Cut 2016 order page. If you do not see this up on the right-hand corner, this is Director's Cut 2016. You'll like see this right here. You can join one pay, or you can do 11 payments of $199. For those of you that are in Breakthrough or in Project Breakthrough or Project Assimilation, you guys are set until 2017. So sit back and enjoy. We're going to be dropping these bombs on you anyway. We've got already several hundred people over there in that group rocking and rolling right now. Breakthrough, your access runs out June 30th, 2016. Now, do know that a lot of you that bought the MAM product might have $1,000, OMG credit. That's going to take you through all of 2016. For those of you that don't, access will run out June 30th. We will talk to you later about how that can be upgraded on another webinar if you'd like to go ahead and take care of that early. So with that, guys, you've got a preview of 2016, and it looks like a very, very, very exciting one. Guys, please thank the coaches for their time being on here. And just to give you a general schedule of what's going to go on, Assimilation, this will be the last one of 2015. We'll be back either this first, more than likely the second week of January, and we're going to be guns blazing. From there, we're going to have at least a 4 or 5 month march on out from there. You still have access to Fletch, Greg, and Joe Marfolio at the moment for the next 3 weeks. Utilize them, and in 2016, we're going to start unleashing all the new material for everyone there. So with that, guys, please, if you haven't done it, sign up for Director's Cut 2016. And we'll just give the last words to the coaches, and we're going to throw it up. Fletch, any last words?
Yeah, Con, actually, I did have something to say. One of the things that you've really helped me with, and I know you've helped a lot of OMGers with as well, is blazing that trail and leading the way and helping people really, raise the lid for earnings in OMG. And while I said what I said, really about focusing on getting everybody else up to the level I'm at, I don't want, the thing is, I don't want you to feel like we are not all able to support where you're going. And, for me, I know that part of what I want to do is help people out that are coming in that may not have any income online. But the other piece of it is knowing that, if I don't continue to push myself, that nobody's going to follow me either. And, I am not intending to stay where I am. So, I just wanted to thank you for, continuing to raise all of our awareness about the amount of money we can earn with SEO, sure, about the amount of money we can earn in SEO, or OMG, with the training that we have here. So, as much as anything, I wanted to thank you for putting this webinar on and for continuing to kind of push all of us to stretch our own kind of boundaries for, what's possible and, how much good we can do in the world. Because we got a lot of new members coming on, but we all also have our own clients that we have to take care of. So, sure, those two things put together, kind of is something that we have to consider. And I want to I want to follow you, dude, because it sounds kind of corny, but good Lord, man, when you came on board, I had no idea you were even in the group. You were, somebody that's, asking questions that we're looking at in these, the question box that I'm looking at on my computer screen right now. Um, it I don't think people have a full enough appreciation of what they can do in their life and what they can be. And I think that they need somebody to show them that. And you've really done that for a lot of us, Cotton. And I just want to thank you for that. I want people to become aware of who they are and what they need to be in this world. And I'm going to do that myself. So I just wanted to thank you, publicly here. And yeah, it's good shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to what we have going on.
Great. Thanks, Fletch. I mean, the last thing I ever thought is that that I didn't get any support from you. I just always look at it, that more money creates more problems, and more problems I can figure out while I'm moving up, the easier it's going to be for OMGers when they get to those levels. So that's all. So just I like to know that every coach supports me, but I really appreciate you saying that. Greg Morrison, any last words?
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna follow Fletch, and you always thank us, but man, we don't. I don't think we thank you nearly enough. I don't think the community understands how much you do. I mean, Cotton just doesn't do client stuff. I mean, he's an SEO genius as well. I mean, he's one of the few people that I can go to and say, I'm seeing this. He'll say, yeah, I'm seeing that as well, and I know I don't have to test any further, which frees up a lot of my time. I mean, he gives me data I don't even have, and I can test with that. Not to mention, I mean, the assimilation webinars he's doing and all the work he's doing behind the scenes to get the webinars prepared. And I mean, Cotton has made OMG like 10 times better. I mean, all the coaches that have done it have had a great value, but Cotton has just taken OMG to a whole nother level, and I'm very, very appreciative of him. So thank you, Cotton, as well.
Thank you, Greg. It's very, very, very touching. I can't say enough great things about you as well. Stephen Floyd, any last words?
Amen. I'm going to follow suit, and I don't want you to blush on a webinar, so I'm not going to wax poetic, but to say that the impact that you've had on my life personally and professionally is profound is a massive understatement. And to kind of say what Fletch and Greg have both said too, to mirror that, when you make us stronger, you make it easier for us to help other people. And the impact that you have, not just in this group but outside this group, is immeasurable. And I agree with what Greg said. Again, I know we all do our best and we all do our part, but what you bring to this is just so incredible. And personally and professionally, I want to thank you, because if it weren't for you, and I thank all the coaches and Mike and David and everyone, but if it weren't for you personally, I can tell you that my business wouldn't be anywhere near what it is today. It wouldn't be. I'm making more in months this year than I made in the entire year previous, and it wasn't because I didn't have the ability to make the money. It was because I didn't have the mindset or the belief. And being around someone like you, who is just getting it and getting it and getting it, it gives people like me and other people the confidence to say, yeah, I can. That guy can do it. If I work hard, put in the time, I can do it too. So on a personal and professional level, thank you. That's it. I'm gonna.
Yeah. You're very, very welcome. I didn't expect that from you guys, but thank you very much. I like you guys help me out, and just as much as I think I help you. So 2016 is going to be a great year, guys. I'm very excited about it. I was scared last year of what 2015 would be. It was a brand new world. This year, I'm more familiar with what the world is. And man, I think with all the coaches and how well we know each other, it's just going to be the best year ever. And I just can't wait. So guys, please sign up for Director's Cut. I will see you in Assimilation in 2016. Have a great night.